name is Webb. I own a 1990 GTI VR6. I have Ben here, and I have G here. Kevin and Kim left. We have Anthony, new to the Mark II scene. What we represent is the Mark II GTI scene. We're on the rooftop at WUSTE 2010 of 2016. We're just here to come together because there's not that many VR6 or even Mark IIs in the scene right now. These two guys worked their butts off. G his car was silver 2014. Painted the whole car 2014 to red. Ben's here from Kansas all the way to Vegas.
Jesus.
And he brought his car out, and he's been building it for the last 18 years. So I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into these Mark IIs. Not to say that Mark 7, 5, 6, there's not a lot of hard work, but there's a lot of research that we have to do to build our cars and make them unique. All of our cars are unique in the aspect of they're all different. Whether it's air ride, whether it's coilovers, whether it's supercharged, where it's just off the shelf. But what we're trying to do is stay grassroots. Our Mark IIs are what started this whole scene. Mark I's, Mark IIs, and we just hear it and love what we do. We work hard at what we do. We don't take it lightly, and I mean, it's fun. And we just want to show what we do. I mean, it's not wheels and air ride or wheels and suspension. It's a lot of body work. It's a lot of rare pieces that are no longer available for 20-plus-year-old cars. And both of these guys, I mean, I salute them both because they didn't stop. I mean, like Ben said, 18 years. G's been doing his for the last 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah, well, more than that.
More than that?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just met him 2 years ago. I knew him when I met him when his car was silver, now it's red. So he stripped, I mean, did a complete color change. But we're just having fun. We just want to show what there is to the heritage. I mean, just like we're getting older, these cars are getting older, and they're the grandfathers of this whole scene. They're what created this whole scene.
So what do you think about today's scene? What do you think about what goes on now? What do you see now from from the past?
It's like having Kool-Aid and too much water and no sugar. Because I mean, yeah, the cars look nice. I mean, Kool-Aid tastes good, but if you add too much water, not too much accessorizing the car, it doesn't do anything for the car. I mean, you can see plenty of Mark 7s that look good, but there's nothing else done to them other than wheels and suspension. I mean, if you look at any of these 6 Mark IIs, there's more than just wheels and suspension. There's a whole lot of blood, sweat, and tears, knuckle busting, nights at looking for parts that you will not find unless you go to Europe. And people's backyards are just word of mouth that you're looking for. My car, it took me 6 months to get the paint code. So I mean, the paint code on my car is not something that you just go to the Porsche dealership and say, I need that paint code. So there's a lot of time and research and just thought. There's a lot of thought into our cars. It's not just like, I'm just do this. No, we want to keep our cars period correct, but at the same time, unique. Everybody has a uniqueness, but we're just not trying to do it overnight. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that has to go into doing wheels. A lot of stuff that has to go into, a lot of thought that goes into putting different kinds of wheels, different kinds of tires, what suspension, what fender flares. And I mean, you tear it up, and it's not that you just go buy another pair of fender flares, G60 fender flares, because they're rarely available. No, you have to either scour the internet for days at a time or contact somebody that you know that may have some G60 flares. So the scene it's getting away from what originally it was, but it's also making kids think back to, okay, if they look at our Mark IIs, okay, there's something there that I can grasp and do something different, but it's hard for a Mark 7 to look unique.
So what would you say to someone who's getting into the car game at like a younger generation?
I mean, I've been in the game before the internet was really what it is today, and so, you know, for these kids that just go out there and click buy it now on these parts, I mean, it's a lot more that goes into it than just that. So for the kids that are getting in it today, I'm saying don't follow what you're seeing on Instagram. Don't try to be like everyone else. Do your own thing. Like what Webb was saying, all of our cars are different for that reason. We did exactly what we wanted to do. We put the time and effort into researching the parts for what we like ourselves. We didn't listen to other people. And now it's all about likes and, you know, what somebody else is doing here. I want to be like them. We just do what our heart says.
And it didn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
I mean, now it's like overnight success. Okay, well, you put wheels, tires, suspension in your cars. Great. I mean, he said 18 years. It took me 6 years to build mine. G's been working on his over 4 or 5 years. So, I mean, it's not overnight success. And none of us are looking for overnight success. I know Kevin and Kim, they've built their cars for the last 10 plus years. So it's none of us are looking for that overnight success. And just do your own thing and just make it your own. Whether you gotta take your car apart and, you know, make it your own. But I don't think anybody that has a Mark 4 and forward trying to you can grab it in the background. And I mean, when we were that age, we were not doing that. I mean, it's subtle. We don't. Now it's like attention. Grab the attention. We want the attention. Yes, we want you to come look at our cars, but we are not going through the parking lot revving our motors for attention. We like to drive our cars. We like to drive at a decent speed, and for the most part, we don't want to tear up our shit because it's so fucking hard to buy the parts to replace it. I mean, G can talk about that. G lives here in Vegas, and I know he doesn't have that far to drive, but he goes to other shows. G came to Southern California, he came to Fontana for Festivus. So I mean, I'm sure he didn't drive.
I drove the car.
Yeah, so I mean, my thought is, how can somebody admire my car going down the freeway at 90 miles an hour? They can't. The only way you're gonna admire my car is if you pass me and you see like, holy shit, and it happens all the time. People slow down so that you can catch up to them, so you can pass them, so they can pass you again. I mean, I drive my car at 70, 75 miles an hour, but I don't rev my motor. I get on the freeway and I just cruise. All of our cars can do 90 miles an hour if we wanted to, but there's no reason for us to drive that fast if we want somebody to look at our car on the freeway, on the street. I mean, the attention, the pride and the attention and the glorification that we get is when we're driving our car. Yeah, the car show, people walk by it all the time. But if you're driving a car that actually you can drive and not be on a trailer, Ben and I both trailered our cars here. So be it. We both drove a far distance. But if you can drive your car and people can admire it on the street, that says a lot because you're actually driving a car that's a show car. So I mean, so a perfect example would be Kevin and Kim. They live in the Bay Area. They drove 8 hours and they just left. Wish they were here, but they drove 8 hours and they drove their car. They drive their cars to Vegas every year. So we just want the respect of the hard work. I mean, I'm sure I know I don't care, but I know if either of these guys didn't get a trophy today or award today, they'll be fine with it. Because why? Because they had a gob of people come look at their cars, and that was like, what? Yeah. I mean, if you want to touch on that, I mean, but
not only that, us three got to meet today. How about that?
Yeah.
Instagram for life. We finally got to meet. So
I mean,
wow.
Yeah. So I mean, there's no high than bringing your car to a show and people looking at your car. That's why you build your car. You get an award, yeah. You put it on your shelf, yeah. But how many people come to a car show that comes to your house to see a trophy? Nobody cares. I mean, when you bring your car to a show, everybody's looking at your car. And that's the part that we love the most. Everybody's looking at our car. And we can drive it away. I mean, sometimes they don't start because they're 20-plus-year-old cars, but it is what it is. We signed up for that, so.
Any closing words or anything you guys want to say?
I'll let them start.
All I really have to say is, you know, the Audi Volkswagen community, it's a great community to be in. I'm thankful to be a part of it. You know, they brought me in. I've been here doing this for 18 years, and you know, just keep doing what you're doing. Do your own thing, and you know, don't listen to the haters. But definitely support everyone else out there. Help some other people. You know, because not everyone's as lucky as we are. They're starting out too, so help them learn how to do stuff right. You know, have a good time. We're all here for the same purpose, so just have a good time.
If I could help somebody build a car like my car, I would be there to help them. I want them to build their car better than my car. Why? Because that shows passion. And I tell everybody congratulates me on my car. Your car looks great. Yeah, it looks good, but build your car better than my car. Why? Because then you take it to the next level. So don't just settle for what I did. Go beyond what I did. If you want help, I have no problem helping you.
You got lots of lessons learned.
Yeah, so I mean, if I can help the next generation do something different that's unique, I'm more than willing. But don't do something just because your boy said, oh, you need to do this because so-and-so did that. No, if you want to fucking not drive your car with a hood, why you want to drive your car with no hood? Does it make sense? No, it doesn't make sense. So drive your car with the hood. It makes total sense to drive your car with the hood. G doesn't have a hood, and Ben doesn't have a hood. But they don't have a hood right now because they're showing their car. But if they drive it on the street, they're gonna drive it with the hood on. Don't do something because everybody else is doing it. Do something because you want to do that. It may not make sense to everybody else. Me putting a cage in my car and driving on the street does not make sense to anybody else 6 years ago. But it makes sense now because a lot of people want a welding cage. I didn't start the trend, I just wanted to do something that no one else did. People bolt their cage in, I welded my cage in. Just have fun doing what you do and help others. As a group, stay as a unit, and I mean, things will continue to grow. And then your kids and your kids' friends will be able to do the same thing. Don't let it die. Feed up for life.
Basically, we have a 1994 Tijuana Special Golf, and straight from Tijuana, for real, right over the border. Brought over here by the owner, who got hassled at the border, bringing it over here, and basically there's a lot done to it. Full white body kit, produced by Optaworks, and ER6 swap, Mark IV interior, all cream. We ended up going with Porsche Gate Gray. So we went with Porsche Gate Gray, very nice color, has few hues of blue that we liked, and all around it's a good car.
How long have you guys been into the Euro scene?
Oh man, myself, I've known these guys from the garage for well over 15 years. They've been in the scene since early 90s.
What garage is it?
Scrappy Dub's garage.
Scrappy Dub, and where's that based out of?
Scrappy Dub's garage is based out of Henry, California.
What do you guys do there?
We do everything. As far as what Scrappy Dub garage does, everything from mechanics. We do full builds. We operate in body kits, side skirts, motor swaps, interior swaps, anything you got, we can do it.
And what do you think about the European scene nowadays?
You want an honest opinion?
Absolutely, absolutely.
As far as what I think about the European scene nowadays compared to early 90s or late 90s, early 2000s, is that it's kind of fallen off. Nowadays, a build consists of bags, rims, newer car, and that's considered a build, which it's not a build. Also, the technical aspect of building is gone. You have kids that have checkbook cars. They come straight from a tuner shop. Nothing's built in their own garage anymore. So we still have kept that aspect. This car, even though it doesn't look like it, came from a dirty garage. And that's how we're going to keep it.
Perfect. What do you think about WUSTE?
I think WUSTE is a really good gathering. You actually get people from Oregon, Utah, sometimes Florida. I mean, everyone comes from different places, but you get to see different builds, different aspects of builds, people's aspects. It's hot, but it is a good gathering.
How long have you guys been coming?
WUSTE, I believe we've been coming since the start of WUSTE, actually.
And you guys will keep continuing?
Yes, sir. So expect us each year with a new car, a better build, something to add. We're 3 cars deep now. Expect 5 next year. Like I said, dirty garage builds all the way.